The stone cross perches high on the chapel roof. It is framed in the bedroom window, a solitary disturbance to the trees and fields that stretch west towards Craggy Hill. Usually it irks me, but this morning the cross is pale against the pallid dawn sky, almost insignificant. Almost. Throwing back the bed covers, I take the 2 frigid strides to the basin and thrust my face into the cold water. Gasping, I reach for the drying linen, then smooth my hand over the damp plait that hangs over my shoulder like a rope. Henry always says you could tie up a horse with my hair. I glance back at the empty bed, wondering why he didn't wake me when he left. I'd slept fitfully, dreaming of hands pulling me down as I struggled and fought against them. I'd woken to find the bed linen twisted around me, as though the struggle were real. I dress quickly, pulling on woolen stockings and fastening the buckles on my stoutest leather shoes. As I stand up, a wave of dizziness overwhelms me, and I grip the back of the chair until it passes. The buttons of my bodice strain as I breathe. I'll have to let the seams out soon. I pass the boys' room, where they haven't yet stirred, and go downstairs. The fire blazes in the hearth of the cold kitchen at the back of the house. Peg, her wind-raw cheeks glowing red in the firelight, rolls out pastry for pies. Bread is already baking in the oven, and a warm, oaty smell fills the room. "Has Mr. Wolfreston gone, Peg?" "Tom Dyer fetched him to see to that pauper queue that were lining up outside the chapel this morning." "Well, but it's too early." "Well, I saw 2 women huddled in the porch when I came by. One had a babe." I wrap my heavy blue shawl around my shoulders and fasten it with a brooch. "Well, I'd better take over some bread if it's ready," I say, eyeing Peg carefully, expecting the usual confrontation. Peg doesn't hold with me giving fresh bread to the paupers and scavengers that come begging to the church. But today she only wipes her flour-dusted hands on her apron before taking a basket from the floor and setting it on the table. "I made these already," she says, lifting a cloth to reveal 2 warm round loaves. "For Mr. Wolfreston's breakfast, mind. Not them scavengers." She turns briskly back to the pastry, hiding the twitch of a smile. I close the back door behind me. The red brick frontage of Statfold House looks less austere than usual. The house is almost pretty with its frost-covered lawn before it. A short way down the lane, the chapel sits among the handsome rowan trees Henry's father planted just before he died. I hurry past the graveyard to the vestry entrance. The odour of ash, tallow, and damp wool enfolds me as I enter the small room where last night, after a day of picking pears, I had bent over the church accounts, calculating what was left for the poor. The embers had died in the fire, and the wind had echoed low in the chimney when I finally closed the ledger. I wrote in the parish records, "This harvest is meagre. If this dearth persists and war returns, what hope is there?" Then I had walked in the howling darkness back to the house, where Henry slept in the chair by the fire with the mercurius news sheet lying on his lap.